Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites, where we've got new videos for you every week, usually Tuesdays at noon. If you've ever wondered what Amanda's son's planning looks like, this is your lucky day. I'm Pierce and I am Amanda's son, and today we are going to be talking about my planning system. Now, as a preface to this video, I have used several different planning systems throughout the year, and I have always been a planner. Before I started going mostly digital on planning, I used an CONDREN bullet journal for my day-to-day planning, and that's one of the pages. But it's transitioned a lot over time, and right now I'm using a completely digital system. And before we actually get into the planning over here, I wanted to talk about why I switched to digital planning rather than paper. The first thing is that I found when I was bullet journaling, I found that I was writing a lot of the same things every day. And I wanted a way to automate that system so that I wouldn't have to just rewrite everything and make my hands sore. And I liked for it to look nice as well. And so I didn't just want to do it super duper quickly, but at the same time, I wanted to have all of these recurring events that were very functional for me because I like to plan out my days in somewhat detailed way. And so I decided to switch to digital planning. Probably one of the main catalysts for me switching to digital planning as well was that I was on a mission trip for our church for these past 2 years, and I got back about 2 months ago. And during that time, we mostly did digital planning, and it actually was a big mind opener for me at how effective digital planning can be and how convenient it can be as well. And so I'm not very well acquainted with many of the digital planning apps out there right now because I don't actually use any of them. I use the Reminders app from Apple that it just comes standard on pretty much every phone. It lets you make lists of things, and I have used that. I'm using it now for planning my day. And so let's dive into what that actually looks like and how I use it. So another disclaimer, my screen where you're seeing all of this is over this way for me. So if I look over to this way, that's why. So if we're looking at this top portion of my monitor over here, and it's turned vertically, so we're only seeing about half of the monitor, we see that we've got a couple different reminders lists here. And so this isn't actually any app that's open right now. These are widgets that I just put on my computer screen, and I've also got those same widgets on my phone screen as well. So I can access it's not picking it up super well. So I can access my reminders lists from anywhere, and it's super convenient. And these reminders lists are also built to be somewhat autonomous, so they automatically refill with things that I want to do each and every day. And so I don't really need to retype those in each time. And I'll show you how that works as well. So if we take a look at my reminders lists, I've got two big lists up at the top left of the screen, my morning and afternoon lists. And this divides my day into two work periods, basically. And the morning is from after I'm finished eating breakfast all the way until, lunchtime, or we go to the gym or whatnot. And then afternoon is just everything after that. And this is a good way for me to divide up my day, and it feels very natural. And I could change these list titles to whatever I wanted. I could even add a third category as well if you wanted to section up your day into 3 categories. And this is pretty replicable for anyone that wants to plan this way as well, but I do have a special way to refill my list that isn't as easily replicable. So morning and afternoon lists, and if I want to edit them, I can simply click on one of the lists and it comes up on my screen right here. And I can really easily reorder where I want each of these reminders so that I can arrange my morning and afternoon how I want them. So you'll also notice that not only do I have these 2 big lists, but I've got these 2 medium-sized lists and these small lists. These 2 medium-sized lists on the side are for things that I generally want to keep in mind and for goals that I want to focus on this week. And so each week I'll reflect on my goals, and then I'll make more specific plans in reminders and iCal to accomplish them. And then we've got the lists for each day. And these daily lists are very important as well, because right now it's Thursday. And so if I want to plan for something next Tuesday, I have tried putting it in iCal, but my mind thinks in much more of a list-oriented way and less of a, it thinks in time blocks, but it also thinks in items. And so it's much easier for me to just itemize everything in a list rather than block it out in iCal. and it's much more flexible that way. And so if we open up my Tuesday list, say I want to edit out my Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I will be shadowing one of the doctors around here in his practice and in his office. So I'm going to mostly remove everything from this list, to be honest. And I'm just going to put shadow Dr. Damaris. And so that's going to be pretty much my whole day on Tuesday, because it's going to go for an entire work day. And for those of you who aren't familiar with me, I run an Instagram called Vitally Balanced that focuses on optimizing health and providing practical solutions to common wellness problems. So if you're interested in that, you're absolutely welcome to check out my Instagram over at Vitally Balanced. Let's say that I want to plan Wednesday now. Let's say I have something that I want to throw in on Wednesday. I need to remember to attend a webinar, let's say. So we can just add it in to that notes list right there, webinar, and then I can drag it wherever I want. And this is just a nice and modular way of planning. And so you'll notice that between my Tuesday and Wednesday list, I have a lot of the same things in on each day of the week. And I'm not having to retype those in, but I have a Apple shortcut that I've programmed that I've named Plan Tomorrow. And what happens when I click this is it checks what day it will be in about 7 hours from now. So if I do it at nighttime, it's going to detect that I'm planning for tomorrow. And if I forget to do it at nighttime, it's going to, and I need to do it the next day, it's still going to detect that I need to plan for today, because in 7 hours from now, it's still going to be Thursday. So it's Thursday right now, but let's suppose that it was Wednesday night and I needed to plan for Thursday. So I've got my list for Thursday right here. And let's say that throughout the week, I've added in a couple different things that I needed to do. Let's say there's also a webinar I needed to attend on Thursday. And then I remember that night, okay, I also need to text Joe back. And so this is my list for Thursday. It's quite a small list, but we'll go with it. So then I go to my Apple shortcut right here and I click Plan Tomorrow. And so it's going to eat all of the things that I have planned for Thursday, and it's going to replenish them from a standard list that I have. And so now if we look at my morning list, it's going to have moved all of those things over right here. And so now I have all of the things that were in my Thursday list in my morning list. And then I can sift things between the morning and afternoon lists as I so choose. And then we'll see that my Thursday list has already been refilled with a standard lineup of things that I usually do every day. And I need to edit this a little bit because it's not quite accurate anymore. And that's pretty much how I plan every day. And again, this is very useful because I don't need to open an app to have this show up on my desktop. It's right there as a widget, and it can show up on my phone as a widget as well. And if I want to, I can go as crazy or as simple as I want with it. And it always shows up right on my desktop. Now, something that's a little bit more complicated about this system of planning is that it does, again, have this shortcut that I've had to program, which is a little more complicated, and I'm sure there is a more simple way to plan it. And so I can't promise that you'll be able to replicate this list as just like I do, but you can definitely feel free to play around with Apple shortcuts as you like as well. So this is the way that I plan using technology every day, but I'd love to hear in the comments from those of you who do plan using electronic mediums, how you do it, what systems you use, what apps you use, or websites you use to plan electronically, or if even some of you use a hybrid system of electronic planning and paper planning, because I know that things like calendar apps like Google Calendar or iCalendar could be used very well in conjunction with a paper planner. So leave a comment in the description if you feel like you could share some insights about that. So I'd love to see those comments, and I know that other people will also enjoy reading those through those comments as well. Thanks for being here. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others, and we'll see y'all next time.